These seemingly small upgrades tend to add up quicker than we realize. And before you know it, that pay increase that was supposed to help you get ahead financially, help you set up for a better future, get yourself out of debt, instead, it has helped you justify spending more money than you used to. Let's talk about living an expensive lifestyle, faking wealth, versus delaying gratification and working towards freedom. When people get a raise, they fall into the trap of lifestyle inflation. Let's say you're struggling financially and you're making 30K. You end up working really hard and then end up getting paid 50K later on. Getting that pay raise, you probably worked pretty hard to get there, either by online courses, trade school, coding boot camps. You sacrifice time and money for that higher pay. After a pay increase, a lot of people tend to adapt the mindset that they have earned this money. And then they end up treating themselves like a lot, as most people should. They end up going for a more expensive car, maybe one that's like $10,000 more than what they were planning to buy. Getting a more expensive place, whether that's like a fancier apartment or a bigger house, going on a great vacation, or overspending on a restaurant. So after a pay increase from going from 30 to 50K, people tend to adapt a mindset that they have earned money and need to spend it. So they go on a big splurge and get something awesome. Other times it comes more subtle and in the form of small purchases. Purchases that you wouldn't need to think too hard about as you're going about your day. But these small, spontaneous, impulsive decisions add up over time. Things like going out to eat more often, buying fancier clothing, overspending on Amazon for a day, losing track of all the subscriptions you have. Or maybe it's outsourcing different tasks like cleaning your house, ordering food delivery. And yes, these things save you time if you can afford it. These seemingly small upgrades tend to add up quicker than we realize. And before you know it, that pay increase that was supposed to help you get ahead financially, help you set up for a better future, get yourself out of debt, instead, it has helped you justify spending more money than you used to. And there's nothing wrong with that. Different people value different things. Some people value their quality of life. Some people value money. Some people value the people they're around with. Some people value materialistic things to get that dopamine. Other people value watching shows all day. Different people value different things. There's over 8 billion humans, and no two lives are the same. Their different experiences and situations that they're in with their current knowledge help them navigate their life to wherever they want to be. But if you're growing as an adult and your responsibilities are increasing and you care about your long term financial situation, these poorly thought out decisions are slowly sabotaging your financial standing. Have you guys seen the DoorDash prices recently? Everything's like an extra $2 or even $4. Even fast foods are expensive. A McChicken used to be like $1. Then I remember it was like $2 a couple years ago. Now it's like almost $5 for one McChicken. That's crazy. And then before you know it, that pay increase is gone. Now you need to make more money to keep up with your higher quality of life, who that may not be really helping you financially. But then again, different people value different things. But this subtle, reckless spending is even how rich people lose everything. Like they end up getting like an expensive house, like really expensive cars. But for most of us, reoccurring subscriptions and bills drain us mentally. When you finish paying bills, you're like, damn, I'm broke. So if you're broke and you value freedom, you shouldn't care what people think or care to impress them. People who look rich usually aren't. That expensive car they're flaunting is usually debt and not actual wealth. There are countless examples that you don't need to be a genius or get lucky to be wealthy. There are countless examples in history and currently. This quote is from the millionaire next door. If your goal is to become financially secure, you will probably achieve it. But if your motive is to make money and spend money on the good life, you will probably never make it. So again, fake wealth, trying to look successful to impress others, keeping up with the Joneses, the idea that you're in competition with those around you, buying an expensive car to impress someone that doesn't really care about you, going out to eat to fancy restaurants, to post on Instagram, to try to impress strangers. Speaking of social media, people used to have competition with those around them. They used to want to impress the people around them. Now they're trying to impress people online. The new poor or fake rich are people who should be well off but are still struggling financially. Despite making an okay income, they are spending more to look rich. They have a really good apartment. They have an expensive car, hire personal trainers, but it's all debt. That nice car that they have is financed, but damn, do they look cool, guys. Why do you guys want to get rich? Is it to impress people and then give you a temporary ego boost? Or do you want freedom? There are people who want a million and then people who slowly build towards making a million. They are two different things. Most people want to be rich, but why? Do you value materialistic things? That's fine. There's nothing wrong with wanting materialistic things. If it makes you feel better, all power to you. But there's also people who want to be rich just to have freedom or independence. So which one are you? Are you trying to be rich to impress other people? Are you trying to be rich to satisfy you? For you to go into debt to keep up with the Joneses screams out insecurity and immaturity. You're just gonna hurt yourself in the process. Most people who try to impress others generally don't have much to begin with. That is why they're trying to get approval from others. And if you're trying to impress others, that means you care what they think. And that is fine. That is human nature. Like, we're social creatures. If you didn't care what people think about you at a certain degree, that would be concerning. Like, if someone was like hurting and then you didn't care, like, that would be concerning. But if all you care about is people's opinions, if that's your whole life, then that's like a problem. Too much of anything is a bad thing. But if your intent is to get rich, you should probably have financial goals, live below your means, not waste your free time, risk, and be open to criticism. Everything that we buy, own, and acquire is a liability in some way. Things cost money to buy, and it takes time to get that money. Every time you say yes to something, you are saying no to something else. So some people are stuck in this cycle of wanting to spend more to look rich. So like spend more, in an effort to look rich, digging themselves deeper into a financial hole. Being rich doesn't mean buying things to show off. It's the wealthy aesthetic without the actual wealth to back it up. People who are actually wealthy drive unimpressive cars and dress pretty plainly and don't flaunt their money. So do you really want to live an expensive lifestyle? The more you have, the more you want, and then the more you have to work. And then so you're always working and then always acquiring these things. But then you're also putting yourself in debt. The main reason people are frugal is not because of money but freedom. So again, different people value different things. You need to figure out what you value. Some people value being around certain people, having a certain place to live, having certain materialistic things, or mobility, autonomy. Some people it's like reading books, acquiring knowledge. So if you care what people think, you shouldn't ask, how do I stop caring what people think? What you really mean is, how do I better manage my reaction to how people think? So if you're struggling financially, just know that this is just a temporary setback. Setbacks and failures are part of the journey. Resilience is the key to bouncing back from these challenges and continuing to move forward. If you don't experience difficulty, how do you expect to become a better person? If everything was easy, nothing would have meaning. Difficulty is what makes life interesting.